KGUN9 consumer reporter John Matarese warns why your olive oil may not be what it claims to be, so you don't waste your money.
Olive oil. That silky golden drizzle that makes even the simplest meal feel special. It's the warm aroma that rises the moment it hits a warm pan. The smooth, rich taste that transforms fresh bread, vibrant salads, and homemade pasta into pure comfort. For many people, olive oil isn't just an ingredient. It's comfort, nostalgia, and a taste of sun-drenched Mediterranean kitchens passed down through generations. But what if I told you that the olive oil sitting right there in your kitchen could be doing more harm than good? Behind those elegant bottles and promises of extra virgin, cold-pressed, and authentic, many supermarket olive oil brands are hiding some dark secrets. 1. Prima Donna, Lidl. A bottle of Prima Donna olive oil at Lidl costs less than your morning coffee. It's cheap, it's always in stock, and for busy shoppers just trying to cook dinner, it seems like a smart choice. You grab it, save a few bucks, and move on. But when it comes to olive oil, cheaper doesn't always mean better. And in this case, that bargain price comes with some serious hidden costs. What is Prima Donna actually? It's Lidl's private label olive oil, a product of the discount supermarket economy. It's not pressed from one grove or one family harvest. It's blended from bulk shipments sourced from Spain, Greece, or North Africa, then filtered and mixed until every bottle tastes exactly the same. That consistency is the point. Bland, neutral, inoffensive. Freshness is the biggest issue here. To hit that rock-bottom price, producers over-filter and over-process the oil to extend shelf life to 2 or even 3 years. That might sound convenient, but it strips away the polyphenols and antioxidants that make olive oil healthy in the first place. The peppery bite that signals freshness? Gone. The slight cloudiness that means it's packed with nutrients? Removed for appearance. The bottle you buy today might have been pressed over a year ago. By the time it reaches your kitchen, the heart protective compounds have already faded. That means zero protection against heart disease and inflammation. You're getting 120 calories per tablespoon of fat without any of the antioxidants your body needs. Prima Donna was also part of the 2015-16 investigation. The reports didn't accuse it of outright fraud, but they revealed how discount chains stretch the definition of extra virgin to meet massive production demands. To sell oil this cheap, someone somewhere has to give something up. Sometimes it's the farmers, sometimes it's the quality, and most often, it's you. The bottom line? Prima Donna might save you a few dollars up front, but you're paying for it in lost nutrition and dead flavor. If you're serious about health and taste, skip the bargain bin. If you're learning something new, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next video. 2. Sasso. Sasso looks like the real deal. That golden glow behind clear glass. The way the oil shimmers under store lights. It's the kind of bottle that stands out on the shelf, looking pure, honest, and premium. You can see the oil, and that transparency feels trustworthy. But here's the problem. What looks like purity is actually destroying it. Let's start with the packaging. Sasso became famous in Italy for its clear glass bottle. For decades, the brand marketed it as proof they had nothing to hide. See our oil? It's golden, clean, beautiful, and for generations of Italian shoppers, that visibility meant quality. It wasn't deception, it was pride. But science tells a different story. Olive oil is packed with fragile compounds, polyphenols, and antioxidants that give it that sharp, grassy taste and protect your heart. When light hits those compounds, they start to break down. Just like an old photograph fading in the sun. The bottle still looks beautiful, but the oil inside is slowly dying before you ever open it. Studies show light-exposed olive oil can lose 30 to 40% of its heart-protective antioxidants within just weeks under store lights. Then there's the 2015 investigation. When Italian authorities tested several major brands, including Sasso, they found something revealing. The oils weren't always fraudulent. Many just weren't as fresh or potent as claimed. The culprit? Exposure. Clear glass bottles sitting under fluorescent store lights and warm shelves had quietly destroyed what the groves had created. Another problem is that Sasso never changed. Even after the investigation, even after the science became clear, the packaging stayed the same. On supermarket shelves today, those clear bottles still gleam like a promise. But open a freshly bought bottle, and the aroma feels tired. Less green, less bright, more muted. The oil has been losing its edge long before you twist the cap. What's worse, most buyers never notice. The label still says pure. The color still glows. The habit feels safe. But by the time that bottle reaches your kitchen, the heart-healthy compounds have vanished. What's left is just fat and calories without any of the benefits that made you choose olive oil in the first place. Without those compounds, you're consuming oil that does nothing to lower bad cholesterol or reduce your risk of heart disease. It's just empty calories. 3. Pietro Coricelli. Pietro Coricelli looks like the kind of olive oil your Italian grandmother would trust. The green and gold label, the elegant script, the word classic printed across the front. For decades, this Umbrian brand stood for tradition, quality, and honest oil pressed from hand-picked olives. But somewhere along the way, that promise started to fade. In 2015, Italian authorities tested several major brands, including Coricelli, after taste panels questioned whether their oils actually met extra virgin standards. The results were telling. Chemically, the oils passed. On paper, everything looked fine, but in sensory testing, they fell short. The flavor, the aroma, the peppery finish that defines real extra virgin. It wasn't there. And here's what made it worse. Italian authorities didn't just rely on lab tests. They assembled professional tasters, people trained to detect subtle defects in olive oil, rancidity, oxidation, fermentation. These are flaws that chemistry can miss, but human taste catches immediately. Coricelli's oil passed the chemical test but failed the human one. Coricelli protested, arguing that temperature changes and human judgment aren't reliable. A year later, the case quietly disappeared. But for shoppers, the damage was done. Once a brand enters an investigation like that, the doubt never fully leaves. Here's where it gets tricky. On paper, extra virgin has a clear definition: cold extracted, mechanically pressed, low acidity, no heat or chemicals. But in practice, that clarity dissolves. Some countries test by chemistry, others by taste. Two labs can grade the same oil differently, and that gray zone is where trust starts to crack. The real problem is the language. The label says cold pressed and first press. But those words have been printed so many times on so many bottles, they've lost their meaning. Marketing calls it heritage, but it's really just noise. When every brand makes the same claims, none of them matter anymore. Then there's the flavor, or lack of it. Coricelli's production facilities are modern, precise, and technically compliant. Nothing illegal, nothing careless. But compliance isn't quality. The oil meets the minimum standard, but it doesn't deliver the sharp, grassy taste that real extra virgin should have. It's mild, neutral, forgettable, the kind of oil that disappears into your salad instead of elevating it. And that matters because real extra virgin olive oil is supposed to reduce inflammation and lower your risk of heart attack and stroke. When the peppery bite is gone, so are those benefits. So while Coricelli might still carry the reputation of Italian tradition, the reality is far less impressive. The oil is over-processed, under-flavored, and hiding behind words that no longer mean what they used to. If you want olive oil that actually tastes alive, keep walking. Drop a comment below. Which brand are you using right now? 4. Carapelli. Carapelli used to mean something. In the late 19th century, the family's mill in Florence was the real deal. Stone wheels grinding olives within hours of harvest, the grassy aroma drifting through narrow Tuscan streets. It was loud, imperfect, and alive. That was the Carapelli people trusted, but those days are long gone. Today, Carapelli is owned by Dioleo, the same massive conglomerate behind Bertolli, and that ownership tells you everything you need to know. When a centuries-old family business gets absorbed by a multinational corporation, something fundamental changes. The focus shifts from craft to scale, from quality to quarterly earnings. The bottles still carry elegant script and embossed glass meant to evoke old-world tradition, but behind that label lies a modern industrial system. Tunisia and North Africa get blended with Italian stock before being bottled in Florence. It's a global supply chain, not a local craft. And while there's nothing illegal about blending oils from different countries, it does raise a question. What does Italian olive oil really mean anymore? Is it the olives, the pressing, or just the zip code where it gets bottled? In 2015, Italian prosecutors investigated several brands, including Carapelli, for oils that failed to meet extra virgin standards in official taste panels. The company denied wrongdoing, and the case eventually faded, but the damage was done. Even if the chemistry checked out, the perception didn't. Customers started wondering if that Tuscan flavor was real or just clever marketing. And once that seed of doubt is planted, it's hard to shake. Then there's the taste itself. Open a bottle of Carapelli and you'll notice something missing. The peppery bite? Gone. The grassy aroma? Muted. And that matters because real extra virgin olive oil is supposed to reduce inflammation and lower your risk of heart attack and stroke. When the peppery bite is gone, so are those benefits. The flavor is mild, balanced, and engineered for neutrality. It offends no one, but it excites no one either. It's the kind of oil that lingers for just a moment before fading completely. What's worse, the brand keeps leaning harder into design. They've introduced lines like Fior Fiore and Il Nobile, with sculptural bottles, tall shoulders, and textured embossing meant to suggest heritage and artistry. Beautiful packaging, bland oil. Design can't replace flavor. What used to be a craft now looks like it's photograph. At the end of the day, carapelli isn't dangerous or fraudulent, it's just hollow. The romance of Tuscan tradition has been replaced by the logic of mass production. If you want olive oil with real character and honest flavor, this isn't it. 5. Bertolli. In 2018, Bertolli's parent company, Deoleo, quietly agreed to pay $7 million to settle a class action lawsuit in the United States. The charge? Misleading labeling. For years, bottles had been stamped with "imported from Italy," leading shoppers to believe they were getting pure Italian olive oil. But the truth was different. Much of the oil inside was pressed in Spain, Greece, or North Africa, then shipped to Italy for bottling. Regulators called it an issue of language. Consumers called it a lie. For generations, Bertolli's green and gold label had been shorthand for Italian authenticity. Then a few pages of court documents shattered that trust. Marketing had traveled faster than honesty, and millions of families who'd been buying the same bottle for years suddenly realized they'd been misled. Here's the thing. Blending oils from different countries isn't illegal. It's standard practice in the industry. But the phrase "imported from Italy" turned a logistical detail into an emotional deception. When Deoleo finally changed the label to "bottled in Italy," the correction came quietly, too quietly. Most shoppers never even noticed. Even today, longtime buyers swear the flavor has changed. Some say it's milder now, less peppery, less alive. Whether that's oxidation, a new formula, or just disappointment doesn't really matter. Perception is reality, and once trust cracks, it's hard to pour it back into the bottle. Another issue is transparency, or the lack of it. Bertolli still doesn't list harvest dates or specific origin details on most of its bottles. You're left guessing how old the oil is, where it really came from, and whether it's been sitting on a shelf for months. That kind of vagueness doesn't inspire confidence. Old olive oil doesn't just lose flavor, it can go rancid, and rancid oil has been linked to increased bad cholesterol and higher risk of heart disease. So while Bertolli survived the lawsuit and remains one of the most recognized names in olive oil, something essential was lost. The trust, the authenticity, the belief that what's on the label matches what's inside. If you want olive oil you can actually trust, there are better options out there. Alright, now that we've exposed the truth behind those questionable olive oil brands, it's time to take a deep breath because not all olive oil is bad. Yes, you heard that right. There are olive oil brands out there that actually respect your health, your taste buds, and the land the olives came from. The kind of olive oil that skips the misleading labels, avoids industrial shortcuts, and still delivers that rich, peppery flavor we all crave. So let's turn our attention to the 2 olive oil brands that are actually worth your money. 1. Kirkland Signature Toscano, IGP, Costco. You don't expect greatness to come from a warehouse aisle, but sometimes it does. Kirkland Signature Toscano, IGP, is one of those quiet surprises that proves you don't need a fancy brand to get honest olive oil. In a store built on bulk and bargains, this bottle tells a different story. The IGP on the label stands for Protected Geographical Indication, a European certification that's no joke. It requires every olive to be grown, pressed, and bottled within Tuscany itself, under the watchful eye of a consortium that checks every stage. That means no mixing with cheaper imports, no refilling from tankers halfway across the world. What goes into the bottle has a birth certificate, and for an American warehouse brand to carry that seal, that's not luxury, that's respect. Under Tuscan IGP rules, olives must be harvested at precise ripeness and pressed within 24 hours. The oil must be cold extracted, meet strict acidity levels, and pass professional taste tests conducted by trained panels. Costco didn't just buy the name, they bought into the entire system. Each bottle even lists a lot number that traces back to specific Tuscan mills. It's the same level of traceability used for fine wines, quietly applied to something you pour over salad. What's even better is the price. It's affordable, consistent, and fresh, proving that honesty doesn't need to cost a fortune. You're getting certified Tuscan olive oil for less than half what boutique brands charge, and the quality doesn't suffer for it. The oil itself tastes vibrant. Green apple at first, a flash of almond, then that peppery finish that hits the back of your throat and tells you it's real. Pour it into a pan and it smells alive. Grassy, warm, sharp in all the right ways. This is what extra virgin is supposed to taste like. Perhaps the best part, it reaches people who would never spend $30 on a boutique bottle. It brings the idea of traceability, of knowing your oil's birthplace, into ordinary kitchens. That's democratization at its best. Not lowering standards to reach more people, but raising access so more people can taste real quality. In a world that keeps teaching us to expect less, Kirkland Toscano teaches the opposite. It reminds shoppers that even a global retailer can honor local soil and that accountability can exist at scale. It's not perfect, but it's transparent. You can verify its certification, trace its origin, and trust that what's inside matches what's promised. So for once, the reward isn't for those who seek the rare. It's for those who simply shop wisely. Sometimes honesty hides in plain sight, right there on aisle 12. 2. Cobram Estate, California. While most olive oil brands chase the image of purity, Cobram Estate actually measures it. In an industry that still leans on romantic marketing and borrowed Italian prestige, this California-based producer has built its reputation on something rarer: proof. Certified by the California Olive Oil Council and repeatedly honored at the New York International Olive Oil Competition, Cobram has turned transparency into both policy and pride. No mystery origins, no cloudy labeling, no borrowed credibility from Europe, just local groves, rapid pressing, and hard data you can verify yourself. Let's start with where it all begins. Every drop starts in the fields of Northern California, where the climate creates near-perfect conditions for olive growing. Warm days, cool nights, and mineral-rich soil produce fruit that's naturally high in polyphenols. The company's own mills sit right beside the groves. No trucks, no delays, no oxidation from transport. That lack of distance is everything, because when oxygen, light, and heat are kept out of the process, polyphenols stay in. Those polyphenols are the compounds that give olive oil its peppery bite and heart protective benefits. They're what make real olive oil worth buying, and they're the first thing to disappear when oil sits too long or gets processed too much. Here's where Cobram separates itself. Under California law, producers who use the extra virgin label must meet measurable standards for acidity and purity. It's already stricter than federal standards. But Cobram goes further. They test every single batch for freshness, flavor balance, and phenolic strength. Not random samples, every batch. And those results aren't hidden in vague marketing language. They're published, traceable, and verified by third-party labs. You can literally look up the test results for the bottle you're holding. That kind of confidence doesn't need gold trim or Italian script. The numbers tell the story. Then there's the certification process itself. The California Olive Oil Council doesn't mess around. To earn their seal, oils must pass both chemical analysis and blind taste tests conducted by trained sensory panels. The judges are looking for defects, rancidity, authenticity, one-off note, and you fail. Cobram has passed consistently, year after year. And at the New York International Olive Oil Competition, one of the most prestigious events in the industry, Cobram has racked up gold and silver medals across multiple categories. We're talking about competitions where oils from Italy, Spain, Greece, and Tunisia compete head-to-head, and a California brand consistently beats them. Inside the mill, the process looks less like old-world tradition and more like precision agriculture. Stainless steel crushers hum under LED lights. Digital sensors log temperature down to the degree. Sample jars move from press to lab in minutes, not hours. Technicians measure oxygen exposure and moisture content with the same care a winemaker gives to grapes. They monitor acidity levels in real time. They track phenolic content to ensure every bottle meets internal standards that exceed what the industry requires. For them, science isn't a replacement for nature. It's a form of respect. By measuring the smallest details, they protect the oldest truth. Real olive oil spoils, and only care can delay that clock. Now let's talk about what really matters: the taste. Fresh Cobram oil hits the tongue with a clean bitterness, then warms into a green, peppery finish. You can feel the vitality the dark glass protects. Crisp, alive, slightly grassy. It's not the kind of oil that hides in the background. It demands to be noticed. Drizzle it over fresh tomatoes and you understand immediately. Freshness isn't just a flavor, it's a feeling. Use it on a caprese salad and the oil doesn't just coat the mozzarella, it elevates it. The peppery notes play against the creaminess in a way cheap oil never could. Pour it over warm, crusty bread and it soaks in, leaving that golden shimmer and signature bite. Use it to finish pasta, aglio e olio, and it transforms the dish from simple to sublime. The oil becomes the star, not just a supporting player. Even in cooking, Cobram performs differently. Sauté vegetables in it, and your kitchen fills with a grassy aroma that smells nothing like the neutral oils from discount brands. Roast chicken with it, and the skin crisps beautifully while carrying that peppery note throughout. Use it for salad dressing, and you'll never go back to the bland stuff. And here's something most people don't realize. Because Cobram oil is so high in polyphenols, it actually has a higher smoke point than most extra virgins. That means you can cook with it at higher temperatures without it breaking down or turning bitter. It's versatile in a way over-processed oils can't match. The price sits around $15 to $25 depending on size and variety. That's more than Prima Donna or Sasso, sure, but it's less than boutique imports that make big claims without backing them up. And unlike those imports, you know exactly what you're getting. Dark glass bottles that block light, nitrogen flushing to prevent oxidation, lot numbers you can trace, harvest dates printed on every label. That's transparency the bad brands avoid because they can't back it up. Perhaps that's why Cobram has earned loyalty not through nostalgia, but through consistency. Chefs love it because it performs the same way every time. Home cooks love it because it makes everything taste better. Health-conscious shoppers love it because the lab results back up the claims. In a world of imported illusions and fake heritage, they've made in California mean something again. It's not about geography, it's about accountability. When your mill and your groves are both in California, you can't hide behind vague supply chains. You own the quality, good or bad. Their bottles aren't cheap, but they're fair. Every cent is visible in the labor it took to protect the integrity inside. Where others dilute, they distill. Where others decorate, they document. And that balance of rigor and warmth, science and soul might be the future of honest food. At the end of the day, what Cobram Estate offers isn't perfection. It's proof. And in a market crowded with empty promises and misleading labels, proof is worth paying for. Because once you taste oil this fresh, this vibrant, this honest, you won't want to go back. And there you have it. From misleading labels and cheap blends to honest, traceable olive oil you can actually trust. The reality is, not all olive oil is created equal. Some brands are hiding expired stock and fake origins. Others, like Kirkland Toscano and Cobram Estate, are delivering real quality backed by certifications you can verify. The choice is yours. Next time you're in the grocery aisle, take an extra second. Flip the bottle around, look for harvest dates, certifications, and dark glass that protects the oil inside. That tiny pause could change the way you shop and the way you eat. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive like this. We've got more grocery store exposés coming your way, all designed to help you eat smarter and live healthier. Drop a like if you learned something new, and comment below with the olive oil brand you use. Are you switching after watching this? Let us know. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay healthy, and keep choosing real food over fake promises.